Hello and welcome to the Netherlands. We're at Valkenswaard for the second moto of the opening round of the Grand Prix season here, 2012. My name is Paul Malin. The rain still continues to fall here around this 1,500-metre long circuit, and we've just seen a great display of riding and how to ride the sandy conditions by Jeffrey Hurlings just a moment ago. 2 race wins from him in that MX2 category. But Tony Cairoli, his teammate in MX1 on the Red Bull KTM, he'll be looking to do something similar, I would think, after that victory in the opening moto earlier on this afternoon. So all eyes will then be on Tony Cairoli as the riders make their way down to the line. But Commander Sal on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki World MX1 machine, he'll be looking, as will the guy next to him in that Monster Energy Yamaha team there, Stephen Frossard. They'll be looking to try and cause Tony Cairoli 1 or 2 problems. They certainly won't want to let him have it all his own way. This is how they qualified. Cairoli from Dessau, Frossard, Philippart. Kevin Strybos with a good fine 5th position ahead of Ken Dedeker, Gauthier Paulin and Tanel Leok, the Estonian, on the second of those factory Suzukis. Xavier Borgru, Gonçalves, David Guarneri, Marcus Schiffer, Sean Simpson, Heron Bracker, Matteo Bonini and Porcel, with Kresenov, Podazek and Sebastian Porcel riding with that unfamiliar for him, number 11 on the bike. But the number change didn't do him any good in the first moto, nor to his brother, neither of them scoring any points. Dave Nicol hoists the green flag. We are under starters' orders. The 15-second board goes up. And all eyes now firmly fixed on the riders as they prepare themselves for the last few minutes, or last few seconds, the start of this second moto here. Conditions slightly different to what they were earlier. We've had a bit of rain during the course of that MX2 race, of course, and there's Strybos 22, a good jump up the inside from Cairoli. And it's Christophe Porcel yet again who comes in from the middle. This time he pulls the whole shot, Porcel. And we've got Yamaha's, oh, who's that gone folding on down the straight going into turn? Was that one of Kawasaki's? Was it Paulin? But it's the 2 French riders here, Christophe Porcel and Stephen Frossard. Frossard with the advantage as he leans on his Kawasaki French countryman. And he takes the lead. A nice line there. Porcel almost in the back. Dessau 3rd. There's Cairoli in 4th place. So Cairoli not where he wants to be at the moment, getting a face full of roost in these raining conditions. That's Ken Dedeker, our onboard camera on the Red Bull KTM. He is, where's he at the moment? Well, he's buried down in the pack somewhere, but there's Cairoli. The rain really starting to fall over on the far side of the circuit. There's Dessau. He's found a way through on Porcel. So number 25, Clement Dessau then. He's in the mood for going after Stephen Frossard. Remember, these two duked it out in the closing stages of the first moto. Dessau coming out on top, with Frossard 3rd, just, about a half a second further back as those two went over the line. We've got yellow flags waving over there somewhere into that, left-right combination. Just the other side of that camel's back. There's Rui Gonçalves. There's Nicolas Aubin on the build-base Honda, doing his best to keep that machine up and running. Got a big extension on the fuel tank there as well. Look, that's not a standard tank on that Honda 450. But Dedeker down in 12th. Oh, nicely up over the Dragon's back there. You're going to take a wider line here. Who we are looking for, though, of course, is going to be the 777 of Kenny Bobryshev, who he was nowhere to be seen in the first moto, had a big crash, has been cleared to right. There he is down in 22nd place on our timing screen. But up front here, Stephen Frossard, the 183 Monster Energy Yamaha rider, has got a slender advantage over the 25 Clement Dessau on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki MX World. 450 machine, and look at these two going at it in the early stages of this moto. And he carves his way to the inside, takes the front away from Frossard, and launches it long, gives him absolutely no room. A hard bit of riding there, takes a look over his shoulder, Commander Sal. This is the Sal from the LS Honda days from a couple of years ago. And of course, the Belgian fans, they're going to love that. Frossard won't, though. He's going to go back after the Belgian number 25. Right here, look, parks his bike down the inside, and these two, well, if they spend too long squaring up against each other, Tony Cairoli, he's going to be rubbing his hands in glee, and he's going to be ready to pick up the pieces, should there be any. Christophe Borstel still there in 4th place. Kevin Strybos down in 5th. Jonathan Barragan, a better start for him this time around, in 6th place. Then we've got Sean Simpson in 7th. Then it's David Guarneri, Rui Gonçalves and Heron Pracker. Kenda Dijker in 11th place ahead of Milko Podizek, Anthony Poitier on the factory TM. Watch this here. The Sal goes up high and wide, carves a new line. Slight problem there with the replay. Sorry about that, but this is Frossard going back after Commander Sal and making the pass stick. Sal thought about going down the inside, thought about running it hard into the side of the Frenchman, but to no avail. So at the moment, our leader is, wow, look at that, Dijker all over the back of Rui Gonçalves. There's a bit of contact there, gives him a little love tap there, but Rui Gonçalves doesn't even look over his shoulder to see what was going on. He's obviously used to a little bit of close contact every now and again, and triples his way through and goes past Guarneri. So good move there, a good onboard camera shot there from Kenda Dijker. And look at this here, jumping long into the corner. He knew that he couldn't go tight and run the risk of being carved back up by Frossard, who had to lift his leg up. Cairoli sitting there going, okay, well, here's the Dijker, look, down the inside, straight into Rui Gonçalves. And then if we hold it long enough over the next triple jump section, you'll see Rui Gonçalves triple his way past Davide Guarneri, who bottled the triple. In fact, I don't think he's jumped it all season or all weekend long. But this here, these two guys, 25, Commander Sal, and 183, Stephen Frossard, getting well and truly gripped in the heat of the moment. Tony Cairoli just sat there watching patiently, letting all this unfold before his eyes. Poor Sal already 3 or 4 seconds behind Tony Cairoli in 4th place. Sean Simpson up into 5th. Good ride for him. Barragan 6, Gonçalves 7, Guarneri 8, Dijker 9, and Kevin Strybos has lost a few positions. He's down in 10th place ahead of Milko Podizek. Not sure where Bobryshev is. Bobrishev's gone missing again, has he? Yeah, he's down in 25th position, so not a great start to the weekend or to the World Championship season for Evgeny Bobryshev. Tony Cairoli just doing the usual, taking his few laps just to get himself warmed up and in the mood. Here it is from another angle. Dijker just running into the side there. Look at that. Take your legs away, why don't you? Didn't even flinch. Obviously realised it was Kenda Dijker, did Rui Gonçalves there, 999. Factory Honda rider. So de Sal has found a way back into the lead. He's tripled his way in there, so too Cairoli. Frossard lost out to Commander Sal and was reeled in as well by Cairoli by refusing to jump that triple jump himself just there. Commander Sal, though, needs to get his head down and go. That'll be his game plan. Conditions may be more to his liking. A little bit of rain, bit tougher. There's poor Sal having a good ride, 377 on the 3CP 377. Monster Energy Kawasaki. I don't know what sequel that's from Star Wars, but Steven Spielberg will be proud of that. But a 2-minute lap time from Commander Sal, the fastest of the race so far, and he's 1.5 seconds clear of Frossard already. Jonathan Barragan has been caught by Kenda Dijker. Dijker's actually found a way through on Rui Gonçalves that time around. So there's Gonçalves in the background, losing out to the big number 9, Kenda Dijker, who's going after the Spaniard, former Grand Prix winner here. When he was a KTM runner, Jonathan Barragan, now on LS Honda, the team actually that Kenda Dijker was entered to ride on up till about 10 days ago, but obviously things not working out for de Dijker on that team, and he's coming as a replacement for Max Nagel on the big 450 KTM. And looking to impress is Kenda Dijker. Had not too bad a start to the second moto. In the first race he finished in 5th position. So he's going to be looking at a good points haul. Started down in 8th in the first moto. But these three riders here, I think there's, well, 27.5 minutes plus 2 to go. Certainly this race not over by a long shot, but there's going to be fireworks between these three guys. I think we can guarantee that. Commander Sal, Stephen Frossart and Tony Cairoli. Cairoli just keeping himself out of trouble at the moment. Not getting too close to Frossart, and look at that, doubling again and tripling Tony Cairoli. Look at the time that he's gained on the Frenchman that time around. Runs it alongside the Frenchman through the right-left combination under the Investrade bank. Banner heading down on pit straight. The boards go out. The riders may not pay too much attention to them this early on in the moto. Certainly these three guys, they know exactly where they are. Cairoli forced to go around the outside there in that turn. Bouncing his way through. He's alongside Frossart. He's into second position here by the look of things. Frossart, though, will try and lean on the Italian, but Cairoli just got half a bike length ahead of him, and that was enough for Frossart to have to take evasive action, and he's now in third position. De Sal will suddenly feel the heat here from Tony Cairoli. Cairoli has just changed up into third gear on this third lap. He's on his fourth lap now. They've had 3 complete. Cairoli doing, well, actually doing what we've not seen him do, get some good starts for once this year. Couldn't be any different to what he experienced last year in the opening round in Bulgaria. Always having to fight through the pack. But he's had his few laps just to get himself sorted and warmed up, and he's now going after Clement de Sal. De Sal won't make it easy for the 5-time world champion, though. Tony Cairoli just there, the number 222. Our winner from moto number 1. Porcel is still there in 4th place. Kenderdijker is still in 5th, but at the moment all our eyes are fixed on this, what could be a great battle between Cairoli and De Sal, our race leader. Different lines from all three riders through that turn. Look at the drive that Cairoli got there. He will know that De Sal's jumping this triple, but will De Sal go for it now and bottle it? Both riders go for the triple, but Cairoli has the slingshot round the outside. De Sal not going to back off, though. He moves to the right-hand side, comes over the finish line jump, and he will command the, well, the outside, but we'll put him on the inside for this corner here. Look at that, jumps right across Tony Cairoli. And he's doing all he can at the moment to stay ahead of the KTM rider. The rain continues to teem down here. There's Porcel. I'm actually quite impressed with Porcel in the second moto by the way that he rode in that first race, where he seemed to just give up and then pull out towards the end of the moto. Cairoli's through, though. Better drive from the Italian. So is that a case of Tony Cairoli just wanting to get his head down and get gone, get this race over and done with as soon as possible? Or maybe De Sal just sitting there and saying, right, okay, you come by me, I'll follow you, I'll try and make you push you into a mistake. But certainly by the body language of Tony Cairoli, it is picking his way through those holes in that sweeping turn there and getting on the gas straight away. He just wants to get the job done here. Nice shot there, quick pull of the roll off. Bit of clear visibility and just carving his way through the far side of the circuit. We're going down the pit lane.
Joining me now in the pit lane, Jan Postema, the organiser of the 2013 GP of Thailand. How are the preparations?
It's going really well. It's a beautiful country, and the people are really motivated and especially dedicated to the motocross. The Mxgp family has been out there for 20, 25 years, really organizing a lot, and they really are putting a lot of effort into it.
And do you think Thailand will receive the GP well?
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's only an hour from Bangkok, a real big city, and they really are into sports and to motorsports exactly. So, and definitely it's going to be an awesome time to be out there.
Very exciting.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, if you haven't heard the news already, 2013, Tony Cairoli almost off the side of the bike there as he came out of that final corner. There's going to be a Grand Prix in Thailand next year. Jan Postema there, the Dutch native, but spending quite a lot of time out in the Far East with training schools and one thing or another, an ex-racer, of course, but obviously, we're all going to be looking forward to going out there, and we've got to move with the times, I guess. You look at Formula 1 and MotoGP and World Superbikes, the kind of places that they go to, and in terms of staging the races, and a good positive move there in terms of, wow, Barragan was putting the squeeze on Portuguese rider Rui Gonçalves. So, obviously, check all the news and the websites for all that kind of information into how that's all going to develop. But look at this, Rui Gonçalves back hard down the inside of number 7, Jonathan Barragan. Not going to give up that place too easily, that's for sure. Cairoli sets the fastest lap of the race, a 1:57.6 that time around, compared to the 2:01.9 of Commander Sal. So 4 seconds that gap goes out. Frossard is third, another 3 seconds further back with Christophe Pourcel, Kenda Dijker, Jonathan Barragan, who's just been overtaken now, dropping back to 7th position. It's Cairoli coming out of the final corner, just losing the leg around about there, look. Did well to weather that, because obviously if that front end would have come up any higher, it would have been difficult to get his foot on the rear brake just to pull that front end down. But you speak to Cairoli after the race, probably didn't even realise that happened. Sean Simpson is in 8th position, David Guarneri is 9th, Kevin Strybos in 10th, Marcus Schiffer 11th, Xavier Bourg is 12th, Mattis Caro in 13th. On the STR KTM, Tanel Liot 14th. Evgeny Bobashev now well inside the points in 15th place. Not the start of the Grand Prix year that he wanted. And as we look at Kenda Dijker going after Christophe Pourcel on the CP377 Kawasaki. This is for 4th position. So the loyal Belgian fans of Kenda Dijker will be pleased with his performance here as we look on board with him. Over the tabletop, into the Dragon's back. Look at that power and poise from Kenda Dijker, but then just losing out a little bit there, and squares himself a nice unique 9 there for Kenda Dijker. The crowd go wild from the Belgium side of the country, and to Dijker, well, that was a... In fact, Pourcel probably never even saw that coming, because he thought, right, I'm on the inside, I can just control this. To Dijker, squared himself off. Watch this, over the tabletop. He got the drive onto the Dragon back, which Pourcel didn't get. Bounced his way up over here, doubled onto the plateau there. Pourcel still had the advantage at this point. Watch this, Dijker just goes, right, I'm coming in, going tight, run alongside you. Hasta la vista. There's Bobashev, 777. A tough weekend for him, this Dutch Grand Prix. He comes over the line, he's still in 15th. There's Tanel Liot in the red and orange, just ahead of him, number 4 on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki. Conditions more difficult with each passing moment that this rain stays in the air. It's coming down a little bit harder and heavier. Of course, they're dealing with the roost as well off the bikes ahead of them. And Bobashev doing his best to close down the Estonian Tanel Liot. Both these guys, tough cookies. Martin Barr in the points in 18th place. David Philippart's down in 19th. He's had a very subdued race. Not sure where he went missing. Gauthier Paulin, I know that was him that went down on the start. Maybe Paulin and David Philippart's got tagged in the same incident. There is Philippart's fighting his way through the traffic. Looks like Potazek just ahead of him, 32. So already up to 16th then. So a good lap for David Philippart's. This time around, he's overtaken Martin Barr, Anthony Boissier, and now Milko Potazek. Oh, Nez Parker, he goes out on the STR KTM. Not so far to push it back from there, so disappointment for Nathan Parker then. David Philippart's needs to push on here in this second moto. Needs to improve, pull a whole load of points back. Where was he in the first race? 7th, so 14 points after moto number 1 for David Philippart's, but Mino Rasmanti just looking on there just a moment ago. Trying to pick and weave his way through. Look how heavy the rain's coming down here. Absolute nightmare conditions. Track unaffected by it though. And who is that just behind him? That's the 32, that's Podizek that he's just overtaken. And Podizek and Portland. So Portland coming through there on that green Kawasaki. On the jump right now, number 21, Gauthier Portland. Official Kawasaki rider. So he's following Philippart through. So I'm assuming, therefore, that those two down and out on the first. And Portland, well, he's gone through on Podizek, so up to 17th already. Philipparts and Bobryshev are about 7 seconds apart. Bobryshev trying to close in on Tanel Leok and Matis Caro, so he'll be trying to get up towards the top 10 area, I would think, with 17 minutes plus 2 to go, Evgeny Bobryshev. August Jus, the Latvian Elchny Honda rider. Big fuel tank's only half full, so he's not run out of fuel. There's Portland, GP21. Finished 4th in the MX2 World Championship last year. Won a few Grand Prix as well over the years, but moving up to the big bikes, 450s, became a Kawasaki official rider. No stranger to the green machine zone. But Kenta Daika, great ride from him. Clement de Salle in 2nd place. There'll be 2 lots of 22 on the board for him. That'll keep him within 6 points of Tony Cairoli going into the next round. Bulgaria in 2 weekends' time. But Stephen Frossard not letting Clement de Salle off the hook. 183 there on that black Monster Energy Yamaha. Skies look to be blowing in a little bit brighter. We've got a rider down on the next downhill. So Cairoli will get through there probably. He's 10.9 seconds clear. Yellow flags still waving here, are they? Yes, they are. Obviously got a rider down there. Now, I'm not sure if that was a crash or a mechanical problem. Couldn't quite see who that was, but didn't interfere with what was going on here. But Cairoli, 11 seconds clear at the moment of this rider, Clement de Salle. Steve Frossard 3rd, Didika 4th, Christophe Pourcel now 5th, coming under pressure from Rui Gonçalves to the tune of about a second or second and a half, something like that. Let's go down to pit lane.
Roy Clemens had a really good first race. How's he getting on second?
Can you ask that again? I didn't quite hear you.
He's had a really great first race. How's he getting on in second race?
Well, he knows what his speed is, and he knows what the speed is of the other riders. So I think he's just pretty much riding just to finish the race and get the best possible result. And we're really proud of what he's doing, actually.
Awesome. Have a great week.
Roy Matheson, data logging guy for Suzuki. Oh, look at that, just a bit of a kick there from Stephen Frossard as he came through that drag in the back rhythm section. Look how heavy the rain is coming down now. We've got Clement de Salle going through with 14 3/4 minutes left, plus those 2 laps. There he is, 25. Well, certainly this will do us a favour in terms of the rain coming down. It'll just clean those front plates just that little bit more, hopefully, but there's the South, there's Frossard to the left in those white sleeves up the inside of that green Kawasaki. Here's Kenta Daika over the line in 4th place on the Red Bull Factory KTM, the backup rider for Tony Cairoli. As he goes through on Pourcel. So Pourcel in 5th place. There's Rui Gonçalves in the background looking to make time as well and improve on his points haul. In terms of Christophe Pourcel, I'm guessing that from one race to the next, they've either done a lot of homework or it's the difference between making a good start and a bad start, which he had in the first race, and being up there in the sharp end right from the get-go in this second moto. So Gonçalves down in 6th. That's him there on the Honda World Motocross machine, number 999, the Portuguese rider. The gap between him and Strybos, 5 seconds. Kevin Strybos riding a good ride, having a good Grand Prix. Oh, look at the back end pitching up over there. It was Lars Olderkamp, 79 in the background there. But the yellow flags are out for just a lap or so ago. Nicolas Aubin, he goes out on the Bill Base Honda. And is that over the little Dragon's back, working their way back towards the... Not sure if it's there, is it, on the face of that uphill jump, but maybe a little bit further around on the next one. Just through this part of the circuit here. Nick Aubin should be just on the face. Yep, there we go. Dyker, though, marching on in that 4th place. He's 16 seconds down on Stephen Frossard, so he's not going to challenge the Frenchman anytime soon, but he'll be more than pleased just to stay ahead of Christophe Pourcel, that's for sure. In fact, what would this do to, as we look at Tony Cairoli, the overall Grand Prix would be Cairoli 50, Demanda Sal 2 seconds, 3rd overall be Frossard with 2 3rd place finishes. Dyker would be 4th, and Strybos would be 5th. So 2 guys that you would expect to be up inside the top 5 year in, year out are actually going to be there this weekend. Dyker and Kevin Strybos. Rui Gonçalves will only be a couple points back in 6th place. And then Gauthier Paulin, although he would like to a better start to the championship campaign, he's still got room to improve on that. He's on 23 points at the moment, and he's going to be overall 7th, just ahead of Sean Simpson. So that's what it would look like in terms of the overall Grand Prix. Cairoli, though, doing what he did in the first race. He bode his time, found a way through, took the opportunity with both hands, and he's running away to the tune of about 13.5 seconds. Christophe Pourcel, though, having just been passed by Rui Gonçalves, we're going back down to pit lane.
Back here with Jen Jacks at Kawasaki. Christophe, he had not such a good first race, but what's made the difference this race?
We have to know that Christophe is a little bit sick this week, and he can't prepare this race like we want, but now he's okay. He do a second hit very good, and we are so happy because he's suddenly one of the best riders in the world, and we trust on him, and we hope it will be better for the next GP.
We hope he feels better in Bulgaria.
Yes,
so that might explain it.
Bulgaria.
That might explain it then. Christophe Pourcel just feeling a little bit under the weather, but it still goes to show, though, a better start in the second moto. You just pull yourself up for it that little bit more, and well, he's hanging in there. Hasn't let Rui Gonçalves off the hook so far since he's been overtaken on that last lap. Nicolas Aubin gets himself going again, trailing that right leg as well, so maybe he's had a bit of a knock whilst crashing that Bill Base Honda just a moment ago, but he'll rejoin where he can, mindful of the fact that other guys are coming round that are involved in their own race. Dyker, though, 4th for him at the moment. This is the final turn, dropping into that hole. You've no idea how high that is. You go and stand in that, that's certainly deeper than waist height, almost sort of rib cage area. It's amazing how the camera flattens things out. There's Bobby. Evgeny Bobryshev still down in 14th place, still trying to do the work on number 4, Tanel Leok on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki. Good drive through there, though, for Bobryshev. He's got Xavier Bourg just ahead of him as well. So potentially a couple of positions could fall by the way of Evgeny Bobryshev with 9.5 minutes to go. The Russian down in 14th. The rain continues to fall down here, just under 9.5 minutes plus 2 to go. Tony Cairoli has led pretty much from the early part of the race, maybe lap 3, something like that. Motocross and Stephen Frossard were the early pace setters, but it was Cairoli who kept his patience, picked his moment, and he's gone away. He's 14.5 clear at the moment of Demanda Sal. The Suzuki rider Casal is ahead of Stephen Frossard's Yamaha by about 3 seconds, and it's Dyker on that KTM himself there in 4th position. Only, though, a couple seconds clear of Rui Gonçalves. Gonçalves looking to re-strike and reclaim that position back from Dyker. So if that's the case, Rui Gonçalves will be picking up another couple more points to add to his World Championship tally at the moment. Christophe Pourcel, well, he was up the sharp end as well, but he's now down in 6th position. Jonathan Barragan is down in 7th, but not challenged at the moment by Kevin Strybos, who sits another 3 seconds further back. And we've got Kevin Strybos, Sean Simpson, and Marcus Schiffer. That's him there, number 287, down there in 10th position. Mattis Caro having a great ride in 11th place on the STR KTM. And then we've got Xavier Bourg and Evgeny Bobryshev. Those guys 3 or 4 seconds apart, but absolutely nothing in it between Tanel Leok and Evgeny Bobryshev. And Bobryshev having a torrid time this weekend. A big crash in practice on Sunday morning, and his qualifying race he had a squashed exhaust pipe where he jumped off track and squashed the header pipe, He had a big crash in the first moto, but he's been cleared to ride in this second race, and he had a bad start and he's down languishing in 14th place as we speak. Gauthier Paulin, though, has found a way past David Philipparts and moves into 15th position on the official Kawasaki Racing Team machine. And we've got Jonathan Barragan going up the inside here, backmarker Alfie Smith on the JK Racing Yamaha. There's Strybos, so Strybos going backwards. Barragan finding a way through, or is that Strybos actually trying to find a way past Jonathan Barragan? I think more the case. So Philipparts in 16th, Guarneri 17th, Martin Barr 18th, Boissier and Sebastian Pourcel with a point-scoring ride at the moment in 20th. Here's Ken de Dijker. Oh, taking a look over there. So obviously Rui found a way through. So Gonçalves leaps into 4th position, demoting Ken de Dijker to 5th place. There was a reason for that slow-mo, and that's what it looks like when you look up to your right and see a flying Honda there of Rui Gonçalves moving back. We said that he was reeling in Ken de Dijker. Well, he reeled him in, caught and passed him just like that in the blink of an eye. And de Dijker now nowhere to be seen. There he is in the background. That was only 3/4 of a lap ago. So Rui Gonçalves then in 4th place. That'll be 18 points on the board for him. Gauthier Paulin still, well, I tell you what, Gauthier Paulin's on the charge. He's all over the back of Evgeny Bobryshev. These guys going for this 13th place there. Tenel Leok, he's a couple seconds ahead of Evgeny Bobryshev, and he's got Gauthier Paulin breathing all down his neck. So there's Xavier Bourg, Tenel Leok, Bobryshev and Paulin. A four-way scrap just about to ensue here for 12th place. Tony Cairoli, though, cool as you like, 15 seconds clear of the rest of the field, Clement Nassau. And it's a little bit like, I guess, Tommy Searle in MX2 against Jeffrey Hurlings. You know the tracks where certain guys are going to be stronger than you, and you can take it to them for a few laps, but in the end, the stronger rider will always come out. And Nassau, more favouring the harder packed circuits, can ride the sand clearly, but obviously no match for Cairoli so far in this race. Ah, de Dijker's been off it. Oh, and that's not a good place. That's the first rhythm section coming out of turn 2. So de Dijker then goes out of 5th position. And I'm sure we'll see an on-board caption of that. I can only assume that he's got caught up. Yeah, cross-rutted around about there. Look at that. And then gets himself pitched down and lays it down. So wasn't as big or as bad as we thought it was going to be, but pulls himself a 360 on his hands and knees, picks up the bike. That'll be an electric start there, so no problems getting started for de Dijker, but it'll just be interesting to see how far he's dropped back, because I'm guessing Barragan's gone through, maybe Pourcel's gone through. Certainly Barragan has, Pourcel would have. And Strybos, I think, just going up the hill as well, so Strybos, Kevin Strybos, number 22, has found a way past Jonathan Barragan. And there's Ken de Dijker just in the background, losing out 2 or 3 positions in that fall, going through that wave section. 4.5 minutes to go. The LS Honda of Jonathan Barragan, number 7, in that battle. He's actually in, what, 6th position, having just been overtaken there by Kevin Strybos, number 22, on the HM Plant UK KTM squad machine. Well, there's Pourcel, just going out of shot. Pourcel will be in 5th position now. Dijker having to discard of his goggles in the aftermath of that crash just a lap ago. Never in the sand. Can't tell you how difficult the conditions are at the moment out there. Very, very bumpy. The rain coming down from all angles. Visibility the most problem, because obviously as soon as you pull a roll off or a laminate tear off, what happens then is the goggles fill back up again. If you're with somebody right on the rear wheel, you get roosted. Just at the point when you want to grab a tear off, you hit a hole, you can lose your hand, or you get filled in, then hit a hole that you wanted to avoid, and you do ride blind sometimes. So, and that's like that for 40 odd minutes, the duration of these races, 30 plus 2. 35 plus 2, I should say, but Kevin Strybos there in 6th place now. He's in there somewhere. There's 377, Christophe Pourcel. Then we've got a back marker. Then Kevin Strybos just behind him. So 3 or 4 seconds down on the Frenchman, although that looks to have been halved since he came over the line. So Kevin Strybos looking to take 5th place here. There he is around the outside at the bottom of that first descent. Paul Sell won't make it easy for him, though, that's for sure. Whoa! That was a moment. Ken de Dijker came in there a little bit hot, almost tagged a slower rider, it looked like there, or maybe even de Dijker, or maybe even Barragan. I wonder if we have another angle of that, but Ken de Dijker certainly a little bit close there in terms of rounding out the top of the hill. Might have been that back marker there. There's Schiffer. He's in 9th place in that blue. And Schiffer, the 287, just riding a Suzuki, just a plain old Suzuki this weekend. No major sponsors for him. No, it wasn't Barragan that he got close to, because de Dijker now close to the rear end of that LS Honda. That's the bike he should have been riding this year. Or this weekend, should I say, Ken de Dijker. Watch this, on board. Back marker just there. Very, very close. Mial Kochu, 611. Heading back up the hill after the first downhill. And it's really starting to team it down now. It's raining really hard. The faster you go, the more you're going to get pelted in the face with the raindrops. Feel like sticks and stones just roosting you in the face. Then you get the wisp of sand across your face as well. But Cairoli doing a great job trying to keep his goggles on. Over on the far side of the circuit, I think there's probably just going to be about 3 laps to go here. Already. There's a pair of goggles being thrown out. Is that Bobryshev? I think it is. Souvenir for somebody, because I don't think Bobry's going to be in a hurry to go get those at the end of the moto. And Bobryshev in 14th. Gauthier Paul has found a way through. Xavier Boug's dropped back. He's down in 15th position. Philippart's still there in 16th place, making no inroads to the riders ahead of him. Seems to have hit a wall in the second moto. Guarneri down in 17th, Sebastian Pourcel, Martin Barr in the points in 19th, and Gert Kressenoff as well, the final point scorer in this second moto at the moment, ahead of Anthony Boissiere, who's yet to come over the line, Heron Bracker and Matteo Bonini. There you see the gap between Dessau and Frossard. Frossard looking to have settled for 3rd place and 20 points. In fact, we had the team report with him, and he said he made some mistakes last year, and he needs to iron out those mistakes. Adam Wheeler from On Track Off-Road, I was talking to him in our live studio show, and he seemed to think it was probably just pre-race nerves, first race nerves that you get coming into the first round. And obviously a lot of hype and expectation on Stephen Frossard. Came in as a rookie last year in MX1 from MX2 as a Grand Prix winner, and got off to the best possible start in Bulgaria with a moto win. And he could have won the second race had the back end not come around on him with half the moto to go. Put him down on the deck. He ended it, finished in 2nd position, but he tied the lead with Clément Dessau in the championship at that point. But it was Dessau who left there as the series leader in 2011, the opening round of the Grand Prix series in Bulgaria. So we know that Frossard and Dessau can both go well in 2 weeks' time at that circuit in Sevlievo. So too can Cairoli, though. But Cairoli pulling out all the stops here this weekend. He's looking at taking maximum points. That'll be 50 on the table for him. That'll be 6 points clear of Clément Dessau. David Philippart, so tough time for him in this second moto. Whatever happened to him in the early stages, got himself up inside the points, but has not been able to go further forward than that 16th place. There's de Dijker dealing with the 215, Kasper Lingard, the Sturm Racing Kawasaki rider. Finished 39th in MX1 last year, did Kasper Lingard. So Dessau, Ken de Dijker with just slightly less than 3.5 laps to go. Is this him going by Barragan? No. Alongside Barragan over the finish line jump, certainly came across him, and the two, are they about to touch? Well, he has to take avoiding action, does he? Well, I think he has. I think he's pulled it off, actually. So de Dijker going through on Barragan for 7th position. as Clement de Sal comes over the line now. So that was about a lap ago. Ooh, I tell you what, that was a deep dig. Nice, nice line there for Clement de Sal as he came through that final corner. Just dug himself in a little bit, came out a little bit straighter rather than going from right to left down past the pit lane area. Oh, we got somebody else down. There's Barragan. Barragan goes down from, what, 7th, 8th position. In the same place that Nicolas Aubin went out. Had to discard the goggles as well. So just over 2 laps to go for Jonathan Barragan. How many guys have gone by him? Well, there's Paulhan's gone through. There's Leoc's gone through. So he's now down in 13th, 14th place. Kenny Bobryshev not close enough to capitalise himself on the misfortunes there of the number 7, Jonathan Barragan. So Barragan, he'll be kicking himself, losing those 14 points there in the closing stages of this moto on that LS Honda. So he's just got to iron out those mistakes as well, but he's got to regroup and see where he can end up now to... And Pourcel going out there as well. We just saw the onboard camera. That's Barragan on top of the hill, so Pourcel's gone out as well. Pourcel was in 7th position. De Dijk has gone through. Kevin Strybos is there. Rui Gonçalves now in 4th place. He's made that place his own. But 16 seconds a gap between Tony Cairoli and Clement de Sal. There is Evgeny Bobryshev. He's languishing down in 14th position. As I said earlier, it's been a very tough weekend for the tough Russian. But he will welcome the 1 week break that we get before we go to Bulgaria in 2 weeks' time, just to get his hand sorted, get his groin sorted, and just regroup, get the disappointment of this weekend out of his system. There's Barragan, so Bobryshev has caught him. Barragan obviously damaging that bike in that fall just a moment ago, it would appear. Tony Cairoli over the line, he started his final lap. De Sal goes through just ahead of Stephen Frossard, who's a little bit wayward as he comes over the finish line jump himself. So I don't know if it's just a little bit of fatigue or poor visibility for Stephen Frossard, but he managed just to rein the front end of that Monster Energy Yamaha in just at the right moment, just before he brought it back down to earth. But wasn't a pretty sight there from Stephen Frossard. Rui Gonçalves in 4th place, about 16 seconds down on Frossard, but he's got a good, healthy advantage over Kevin Strybos, who's really been revelatory in this Grand Prix this weekend. Another top 5 result for him. Ken de Dijk, we're waiting for him to come through in 6th place. And Christophe Pourcel down there in 7th position. A little bit further down, Matis Caro, good ride for him as well, down in 10th place on that STR. Pretty much a privateer team. ST being the initials of Steve Turner. So all his own money that's in there at the moment, they're looking for a major sponsor or just a sponsor of some kind for their series. But look at this, halfway to go around this final lap. Tony Cairoli, 2:22, picking his way past the back markers. He's your virtual Grand Prix winner, making it look so easy. Was never flustered at any point in either the first or this second moto. He allowed the battle to commence between de Sal and Frossard in the opening 3 or 4 laps of this second moto. He waited for the mistakes to happen, of which there were, well, not so many, but they were riding very aggressively towards each other, and in the end Cairoli just went, right, I've had enough, I'm going to pull the pin, I'm going to go, and that's it. And he's there, 15.5 seconds clear. Comes through the rhythm section for the final time, into the final corner, and despite the rain and the difficult conditions, Tony Cairoli still out there with his goggles intact. He takes the checkered flag. It's a double moto win for him and Red Bull KTM, and Cairoli victorious here again in Valkenswaard. Out of the final corner for Clement de Sal on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki World MX1 machine. He comes over the line in 2nd position, 13.5 seconds down. And then we wait for Stephen Frossard. There he goes through, but about 20 seconds down on our race leader. But Cairoli, you feel, doing just enough. Here he is.
Tony, congratulations on your 2nd race win of the day. How are you feeling?
Yeah, you know, I feel good. Also not so much tired. So my condition is really good, and I could push when there was the moment to do it, and I take some gap, and then I was happy with it.
Well done, congratulations.
Electric start, 350 KTM. Tony Cairoli just barely breaking a sweat there. I guess the conditions there making it a bit less of a pace than he would have put up in that first moto. With the rain and the visibility, just the automatic thing then is just to back off just a little bit, and that's what he's done. He's been able to get through the day with no dramas, unlike a year ago in Bulgaria, where he tweaked a knee, came away from there just languishing inside the top 10. But on that form, Tony Cairoli potentially looking good for a 6th world title, you feel, although we are still only at the first round. Give you official confirmation of the result in a moment, but wow, great ride for Gauthier Paulin. Got himself back up into 7th place come the checkered flag. Found a way past Simpson in the closing stages. Pourcel losing a couple of positions. Christophe Pourcel down to 9th. Mathis Caro, good result for him, down in 10th. Kenny Bobashev eventually brought his machine home in 13th position, but 2 wins out of 2, the perfect day here for Tony Cairoli, just there. Again, just a simple celebratory fist pump as he came over the line there. But those 50 points in that red plate, pretty much picking up from where he left off in 2011. That's what it looks like down on our onboard camera. Kennedyke getting ready to go back. The MX3 guys getting ready to go for their second moto of the afternoon, which will follow pretty much after this race. 10 past 5 local time, 10 past 4 if you're in Great Britain or anywhere else, whatever the hour may be, wherever you're watching over in the Far East. But the rain hasn't done anything to dampen the spirits of the Dutch crowd. Certainly all the spirits of Tony Cairoli, Jeffrey Hurlings from MX2 and MX1. Xavier Bourg down in 15th. David Philipparts, he'll be disappointed with this weekend. David Uganeri, points on the board for him. Sebastian Pourcel got through to 18th in the end. Kresenov, a couple of points on the board for him. And Martin Barr. Well, here's what happened in that second moto. It was a good start for Christophe Pourcel yet again. Tony Cairoli thought he had it covered, though, up the inside, but Pourcel was just there, got leaned on by the 183 of Stephen Frossard. And then this battle at in the early stages of the race between Clément de Salle and Stephen Frossard really paved the way for Tony Cairoli. Just decide to pull the pin and go after that lead. He first dispatched of the 183, Stephen Frossard, in relative ease. And then he went after Clément de Salle in similar fashion. Despite the Belgians' efforts to try and keep him back at bay, Cairoli got good drive coming through the rhythm section, just coming out of turn 2, launched his attack, sailed into the lead, and from there he was never headed. De Salle, he put up with the challenge from Stephen Frossard for more than he cared to wish for, but in the end, no match for Tony Cairoli, who went on to take the second moto win. And there is confirmation of that second moto result. Tony Cairoli victorious from Clément de Salle, Stephen Frossard, Ruben Salvez. Good 4th place for him. Strybos, Didika, Paulin and Simpson. Great ride for Gauthier Paulin coming from stone last. Christophe Pourcel eventually faded back to 9th with the flu. And then Mathis Caro, good ride for him in 10th. And there you see the rest, everybody else, too fast for us. Guarnieri 17th, Pourcel, Krusnov Bar. Milko Podizek down there, 23rd, Santu Tienen. Alfie Smith outside the points. Boissier, no points. Aranda, Aubin. Riders that should be scoring points in MX1. Nathan Parker went out about mid-distance with what looked to be a mechanical problem. And Potetso only went out earlier for whatever reason as well. Overall Grand Prix will look like this. Tony Cairoli, Clément de Salle and Stephen Frossard. Paulin 4th overall. And Strybos, look at that. Didika, Rui and Simpson. He'll be pleased with that. Janelle 9th, Borg, Philipparts 11th. Similar start to the season for him from last year. And then Caro and Schiffer. Bobashev only 17th this weekend. 9 points on the board from that second moto finish. In terms of the championship, exactly the same as it was for the overall Grand Prix. It'll be in the first round and all. So Cairoli then, he picks up 50 solid points and the red plate, the championship lead ahead of Clement de Sal. Stephen Frossard third, Paul Lance, Drybos Tadiko, Consalvi, Simpson, Leoc and Philipparts. That's your top 10. That's what the championship will look like in 2 weeks' time when the FIM MX1 Motocross World Championship goes to Sevlievo in Bulgaria. Manufacturers' Championship looks like this. 50 points for KTM and Tony Cairoli. Suzuki second, Yamaha third. Kawasaki, Honda and TM just that 1 point after all their efforts this weekend. Getting ready for the podium though. And despite the rainy conditions, still got to do it, I'm afraid. The guys won't mind, but the girls might. Stephen Frossard, third overall on the Monster Energy Yamaha this weekend. A wry smile there. Could have been better, could have been worse, especially with the mistakes that he made in that first moto, but he's still there, just a few points down on the championship leader, Tony Cairoli. Rockstar Energy Suzuki rider, Clement de Sal, second overall with 2 seconds. The number 25 there mounts the second step of the podium. Tony Cairoli, though, it was about 20 minutes away from here, just in Lommel. Stands on the top step of the podium. A great display from him in terms of how he's ridden this weekend. Claudio De Carli, team manager for KTM MX1, the Red Bull camp. Just business as usual for those guys. Tim Frossard takes his third place trophy, if we can see him there, and amongst the splattered cameras, Hans Verhoff, the former organizer. Normally we do have an exclusive interview on MX Live TV on the podium area for our MX Live show, but I'm just wondering where we're going to do that. Maybe over by the way we did the studio just at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Vladimir Gudkov, the chairman of Investtrade Bank, that's the organisers for the Russian Grand Prix of Semigurit. That'll be July 21st, 22nd. And of course, they were heavily involved in the FIM Snowcross World Championship as well in February. And he hands the second place trophy to Clement de Sal. Vito Ippolito, the FIM president, on hand, as he has been many times before, to congratulate Tony Cairoli, who's the overall winner this weekend in the Netherlands, the first round of the FIM MX1 Motocross World Championship. Klaas van der Werf, former organizer here, hands the manufacturer's trophy to Claudio De Carli. Of course, they're on behalf of KTM this weekend. Dr. Wolfgang Schrub, though, the director of the FIM Motocross Commission, hands another red plate to Tony Cairoli. He must be building up quite a collection of those things now, but he's never going to get tired of them. As long as he turns it to gold at the end of the year, he'll be even more pleased. And as it's Tony Cairoli who's victorious here this weekend, it's going to be the Italian national anthem that bellows out around the podium. And just like in MX2, KTM victorious this weekend. Here's the national anthem for Austria, winning manufacturer this weekend. So KTM do the double-double, a double win in MX2, a double win in MX1. It's a victory for Tony Cairoli in the MX1 category, just like Jeffrey Hurlings, his teammate in the smaller division. But Tony Cairoli heads to Bulgaria in good, confident mood in 2 weekends' time in Bulgaria. Of course, that's Stephen Frossard there on the right-hand side for Monster Energy Yamaha, Commander Sal on the left for Rockstar Energy Suzuki. Well, the crowd have done their best to get out of here as quickly as they can, but they've stayed to the end to watch this Grand Prix unfold and to see the concluding part. Tony Cairoli, though, pretty much invincible, like he has been in most San Grand Prix over the past few seasons. But will it be a case of an even playing field going to the next round in Bulgaria? Of course, we'll try and wait to catch up with the guys, Tony Cairoli, Commander San and Stephen Frossard, to hear their views and their thoughts on the race. And if you're an MX Live TV viewer, then hopefully we'll get that 10-minute exclusive interview with our three winners. But here's Tony Cairoli, our Grand Prix winner from MX1 this weekend. He's down by the podium. He's with Amy.
Tony, another win for you here in Valkenswaard. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, you know, my condition is on the top at the moment. I didn't expect so well already at the first race, but, you know, we still have to improve some stuff, and I'm happy, you know. Also, the weather was not so good, but we made a good race, and the track was really difficult, but by the way, we get the red plate, and we win this GP. It's one of my favorite tracks, so I'm really, really happy, and see you next race.
Congratulations, a great start.
Yeah, pretty decent appraisal, really. Probably wasn't expecting to be quite on top of the game coming into it, but when it's your favourite track, they give you that extra couple of percent just to get off the line and get gone, get the job done. That's exactly what Tony Cairoli has done this weekend on the Red Bull Factory KTM. He's going to go to Bulgaria in a couple of weeks as a championship leader. Got 6 points over Commander Sal, the Rockstar Energy Suzuki rider, who had to settle for second overall with 2 second-place finishes. But Sal won't mind about that. He won there last year, 2 weeks ago. Let's hear what he has to say. He's down by the podium.
A rainy end to your second race, but it didn't stop you pushing for that podium again.
Yeah, I did pretty the same in the first moto. But yeah, I was in better position in the beginning of the race. And I just tried to stay focused on myself. And yeah, I mean, like first moto. And it's still a lot of race coming, and I will do my best and hopefully some good results again.
Good luck for the rest of the season.
Commander Sal will be just fine in 2 weeks' time. But conditions not easy here this weekend, but he's got through it. Good news is he hasn't got too far to drive home tonight either, get himself cleaned up. But it wasn't easy by any short. Here's Steve
Stephen, a great start to your GP season. You must be pretty happy with the weekend.
Yeah, I'm very happy because I finished 3 and it's very good in the sun. I took 2 good starts today, and yeah, my second hit was better than the first moto, so I'm very happy to finish on the podium.
Well done.
In the end, Stephen Frossard then just having to be content. Well, that's it for FIM MX1 MX2 this weekend in Holland. Join us in 2 weeks' time when we go to Bulgaria. Thanks for watching.